And welcome to Whiskey, Magic, and Destruction live on the Games Tavern here on YouTube, our very first episode. We're so glad to have you here. Please hit that like and subscribe button and let us know how much you care about us. If you want to wait till the end of the show, we understand, but as long as you do it, it's what's really most important because we'll miss you if you don't. Anyway, we just had a heck of an episode last session as we did a bunch of stuff, but before we kick that off, that emotional roller coaster that's going to be, what are our announcements today? It's our first stream on YouTube, like direct to YouTube. I'd really like to make sure we kick this off right. What's first?
Me, I'm first.
Oh, kick it off, Sam.
I'm really excited because this is a new affiliate program that we were with that I really believe in. So yay! So hey, if you want your room to smell nerdy, but like in the complimenty kind of way, here's what you should do. You should definitely check out Mythology Candles. For fantasy geeks and history buffs alike, they have a candle smell just for you, I promise. If you're looking for something that should transport you to Middle Earth, check out the candle called The Ranger. It's my personal favorite. But if you're looking for something, say, a little bit more Celtic-y, you can also try the Emerald Isles. They have a ton of collections for you to peruse for your best fit. My favorite part is that the 8-ounce candles, this big, have about 50 hours of burn time. I have been buying their candles for a minute now, and I can at least guarantee that these burn for forever, because I have a lot of them. I can't stop buying them, and they don't burn fast enough, which is a good thing. It's a good problem to have. Also, they do limited seasonal pours, which is very relevant to us today, as their current seasonal pour is a Dungeons & Dragons themed set. Now, they're almost all sold out. There's one candle left, so be sure to check out our link, which if you use our link, you'll end up supporting us with your purchase, which is super helpful. I believe it's the How Do You Want to Do This, which was originally their secret candle, and that they've now released to the public. However, like I said, I have a lot of candles, right? So I've decided I'm going to start burning them in the background here and just give you a little tease of what the ones you can buy. This one's the health potion. It has rich cherry wine swirled with juices of ripe plums and energizing magic. This is on their site. It's not sold out. It's a constant that they have, and I'm excited. So welcome our first inaugural candle burning.
That sounded so good. I want to eat that candle.
It's pretty tasty. I like it. Although I wouldn't recommend it. It's waxy.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's the link in chat.
Look at that. So check it out. I think they do a really great job with all their smells that they've come out with. So there's just too many to promote all in one little bit. Go have fun. Good luck.
All right. And who's next? Any
also, hey, I got some good news too. Alex isn't the only one. We have a giveaway. Once we hit 25 viewers, we will be starting a giveaway for Dragon Bag and Dice from the Games Tavern. You type epic, ! Epic, I assume. I don't know if that's...
We're going to try it. If it doesn't work, we'll select somebody at random from the audience list.
We're new to this whole YouTube thing, so bear with us. But if we hit that 25, we're going to try to go live with this
Actually,
Dragon Bag and Dice giveaway.
Hey, Lucci, I'm going to do better than that. Activate that giveaway right now. We're doing it right now. We're going to activate it.
Heard it here first.
Boom. Go ahead. Keep going, Lucci. Don't let me take your thunder. I just want to go ahead and say that.
Yeah. I did that for y'all, okay? Remember who did that. Type
you did do that.
Epic. Once you see the notice in chat, the raffle is live. You must be a resident of the US or Canada. No Quebec. I'm so sorry. These wildfires just are not giving it, so we're cutting off Quebec. I don't know if it's actually coming from Quebec, but you know what? I'm going to say it is. I almost tried to read this French nonsense. You must be a follower to enter. We will continue to take entries until the end of the stream, so be sure to stick around, as you must be present in chat for the staff to contact you when we pick a winner.
Mike, it's right there. It's right there. Tu sais que tu as fait. You know what you did.
Yeah, they sent all the smoke down here today.
Yeah.
Ugh. We should let Canadians know that smoking is bad for your health.
Yeah, you don't get dragon dice bags.
And stop burning your forests. No. I'm sure the Canadians are saying sorry very politely from up there.
Yeah, they're saying it a lot.
Yeah.
Awkward.
So.
Oh, exclamation
Okay.
point fireworm, apparently.
Yeah, actually, that's hey, Tech Goblin, kill that giveaway. We're gonna start that over.
All right, just kidding. Don't use that. Don't use
don't
it.
use that. It won't work. It won't work.
Guys, we're learning YouTube, okay?
Yeah.
Bear with us.
When you get a chance, jump into our the Tech Goblin's gonna fix that, and then as soon as he can, he'll just go ahead and activate it. He knows what to do. The Tech Goblin is amazing. By the way, give some thanks to our Tech Goblin in chat if you haven't given it some thanks to any of our great Tech Goblins. We have they are probably the most important person to every show, far more important than me as the Dungeon Master or any of these people here. As a matter of fact, if you know, we all had to figure out who is the most important person, it would probably be our Tech Goblin, because nothing else happens without them. So thank you, Tech Goblin. Phil, our Tech Goblin.
Tip your Tech Goblin.
Yeah. So hashtag 1010 love our Tech Goblin. All right. If I could get the Tech Goblin to shift gears to the villa.
Oh dear.
Where our party last left off, they successfully broke in, after much conundrum, into the Waterclock Guild crypts. Made their way through a number of different problems, to include traps, other things left to guard the crypts by the Waterclock Guild, only to stumble into another group that was also breaking into the Waterclock Guild, where the party figured out what was going on in the graveyards, where the undead were showing up, as there was a plot afoot to raise all the dead and or create more undead from them attacking everyone else and killing them, creating more undead, basically turning the city into undead. By pure chance, they defeated that and stopped them from getting away with an artifact of some sort, or an item of some sort, that supposedly, according to them, could stop their plans. With much consternation, as at first the party agreed to just ignore them and go get what they intended to get, which was a legendary artifact of note. But instead, upon seeing the item, Turja immediately said, "Nope, we're going in," and that was it. And then from there, they defeated that group, causing a tunnel collapse. Getting into the crypts themselves, they managed to get a hold of the Tempest fugitive, some form of hourglass and spinning rotation thing. Not quite sure entirely how it works, but you were told not to activate it no matter what. Getting out with the device, just as the Waterclock Guild crypt guild masters, followed by a plethora of city guard, a few city watch, and a few knights of Ogma, who were sent to seek out the missing items from the Waterclock Guild crypt, or the Waterclock Guild masters' abode that were stolen.
I know nothing.
Turgis smartly left the goods on the dead warlock. The party made their way through the waterway tunnels down to where the Waterclock Guild crypts connect with their waterways to drain to the sewers, where they discovered the 250-year-old Old Rotguts, a legendary troll that was far more resilient. The party faced off against them, and it was not looking good. Despite their best efforts, nothing was working. The troll was taking a beating, but just seemed to be recovering from it. And in many cases, the damage, even though magical, was doing moderate to nothing for all intents and purposes. Seeing his party was fairly certain to lose this engagement, and no matter what their choices were, if they were going to escape, their good friend, their muscle, if you will, stood his ground and made a decision. A final decision, if you will. Seizing upon the troll and sealing the gate, or the airlock, if you will, he took a necklace of fireballs and crammed it down the old troll's mouth as it engulfed everything in a massive series of concussive fire blasts, scorching the entirety of the room, but sparing the party safely behind the massive metal doors. Waiting patiently for a half hour, the party then opened up searched for the remains of their friend, of which they found none, only scorched soot and the magic items and his metal box full of tinker's tools. They made their way back to the villa through the winding sewer tunnels to the water. And upon reaching the villa, they gathered, shared the bad news, went up to his room to drop his remaining items off, and found a letter, which they shared from him. And then they began to drink the night away. There are those that chose to. It's the next morning. Each of you begins to stir. It's late morning. You've been out all night into the morning. You've slept for only a few hours. It still counts as a long rest for all of you. As you wake up, where do each of you wake up, and how do each of you, come to consciousness? Starting with Vale.
Vale visited Garlo's room and looked through the items that he had left behind, the cloak, the glaive. But he's still wired with the tireless spell running through him. So while he sits motionless, his mind is still active, and he's been thinking about anything he may have left behind down there, and whether the Knights of Ogma are going to be looking for him for his participation in this theft. So,
yeah,
that's how he's
Great.
spent.
I'm pretty sure I wake up in bed. I'm not sure what bed though. And I am not gonna move.
So you're kind of looking around to see if it is your room or not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sim?
I will go ahead and provide the information that it's probably Rafe's room, unless they both crashed out in Vale's room. But if we're trying to guess, I'm going to say it's Rafe's room. Sims did a marvelous, or I should say I did a marvelous, heroic attempt at trying to drink myself into oblivion in the living room, however. It was probably more of a weak stumble up to bed, fully clothed on top of the blankets, currently. Don't want to move.
You hear some almost snoring next to you, Rafe. It is Sim.
Snoring.
It's
Okay,
that
I'm
I drank
still
a
not
lot and I have, the I drank so much I have dry mouth. Fairy has come to visit Sim. Still fully clothed. Next to you. Luciano.
Luciano is definitely, I think he stumbled, made it to bed, somebody helped, I'm not sure how. I assume he's in his room, waking up, very, very drunk. Again, similar to Sim, probably tried his best to drink literally everything that was there to drink. Kind of turns over, sees that it's the morning, immediately does not, as soon as the eyes open, the weight of everything that's going on around you hits. He realizes, what's happened. Everything kind of comes back. He immediately rolls over, kind of covers his head with the pillow and just tries to bury himself in the bed.
Turja, where do you wake up?
So Turja was so dead to the world that she didn't even drinking wouldn't work. She was beyond the point where she even wanted to drink. So she was just sort of sitting on the sofa for hours until somebody sort of pushed her into bed. So she eventually just wakes up in bed and basically tries to stay mentally unconscious as long as she can.
Okay.
All right. So as you're all processing, you start to smell the smell that is two smells that are the most important smells of the morning. Mestique and bean juice and bacon. It's light at first. It only becomes stronger and stronger. What are you doing?
I'm not gonna be the first to wake up this time.
Oh no. Lucy does not want to leave his bed. He will not. He does not want to face the world.
Vale will stop being motionless and stand up and wordlessly go down to breakfast.
Do that. Just as you stand up, you hear a bell being carried through the hall, and it's like a cowbell, and somebody's banging on it with a rod of some sort. Wake up! Wake up! Time for breakfast. Hurry up. Terry's made it. You can't loll about all morning. Get up. You hear the creak of the woods as the bell ringing stops, and he starts to head back down the stairs.
I throw a pillow at my door and I mutter, "Tyrant." And then I slowly drag myself out of bed and start to get dressed.
I only have half as much moxie, or I throw the pillow. I'm still not moving.
It doesn't even get past the foot of the bed.
Make him stop.
I get the impression that Gherkin will be at the door soon, and I should remind you that he has keys.
This place sucks. Like, ragdoll up, body up. Oh, everything hurts. Okay, yeah, this is fine. And like shuffle off the bed. We're here in body, not in spirit.
Okay. So you guys begin to make your way down. You hear this. The rest of you hear the sounds of doors opening quietly, and the creaking sound of the floors briefly as feet start padding down the stairs. It's not a normal walk. It's like a zombie shuffle. Right, Sim? So, and then the stairs, there's like a stumble at the stairs for a brief moment. And then some more stepping on the way down, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
With the sounds of only slightly more balanced, but not by much, steps of Rafe behind her. By the way, that means none of you saw them come from that bedroom once more. Vale, you stood up when you heard the bell, but you stopped, apparently.
Yes. For a moment, I feel the weight of exhaustion kind of, clawing at the edges. And I don't want to deal with that right now, so I'm going to cast my tireless spell again and magically forget all about that so I can just concentrate on what needs to happen in front of me. And I'll continue on like a machine for the next 24 hours.
So Vale is the machine. Got it. All right. And you step out smartly.
Precision in my steps. Got my plate boots on, so they're echoey and loud.
All right. You guys, Luciano and Turja, you hear the clunk, clunk, clunk of the knight's boots as he moves toward the stairway. Very precision, very staccato, no stumbling, stone cold sober. Who's getting up next, Lucia or Turja?
I'm already gotten up. I'm getting dressed, and I'm leaving when I'm dressed.
Okay, so you come out not long after and head downstairs. Luciano?
Luciano is digging further. He's looking for Reggie under the covers, somebody to cuddle, and just digging himself in a hole. He does not want to approach the day. He's trying so hard to pretend like he can't hear anything, even though he's definitely awake at this point. He's definitely awake, cannot go back to sleep. His thoughts are racing.
So, as you get up and you get downstairs, the rest of you, first with Sim, then with Rafe almost immediately followed closely by Vale and then Turja. The smell of bacon gets much stronger the moment you bump into the kitchen. The table in the kitchen has been set. An informal breakfast, simple yet filling, lays before you. There are places for all of you, and for Gherkin and Terry. The cooking is done. Water and nothing else besides mastic and bean juice is being served this time. Terry is sitting down, having a bite at one end. You guys sit on the sides, and it looks like the plate at the other end is set for Gherkin. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is he on his way down?
Which he...
The one who's not here.
I'll go get him. Like, just a little bit more firmly, hands on table, push back, a glare to Gherkin. And,
Well, if you don't, I will. I'll be more than happy to go get him.
it's fine, Gherkin. It's fine. I'm going to grab a cup of bean juice on the way up, though.
Sim, take a seat. Seriously, just take a seat. I've got this.
Okay.
And you guys sit down at the table. Terry's not saying a word. He's just quiet as he's eating, quietly and slowly. This is your chance to talk. Gherkin gets up, grabs a bell, a rather large stick, boom, 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 heads out the door. So what are you guys going to talk about?
Thank you for cooking, Terry.
Don't just thank me. It was Gherkin's idea. He says he's gone through this before, whatever it is that happened to you. He just wants to make sure your guys are okay.
Yeah. Bean juice and breakfast fixes everything.
He said you might say something sarcastic like that. But
Either way, Terry, it was very kind of you to make breakfast. Thank you.
thanks for eating it.
I pour
Luciano.
myself some... Sorry.
No, you pour yourself some mastic and bean juice?
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Because the water is never going to cut it for Turja. So yeah, and it's warm. I mean, it's hot. It's delicious. It's
Strong.
Certainly made strong.
Okay.
Luciano, you hear whoom, 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 as somebody is stomping up the stairs. You hear the rattle of keys, and then you hear a sharp rap on your door. Luciano.
Just groans.
Luciano, I know you can hear me. Come on
Who is it?
downstairs for breakfast.
Don't have an appetite.
Good. Come on downstairs for breakfast anyway. Or I'll come in there.
Come on, yeah, you're welcome to. I was like, do it.
And then I'll paint you like one of my Maztecan girls. And make sure everyone sees it.
Wouldn't be the worst thing to happen this week.
Actually, you are pretty lad. So, look, here's the deal. We all have had these moments in this industry. And I'm not saying to stop feeling horrible, because every loss is painful. But I need you downstairs.
Just because he's so frustrated that he just wanted peace and he can't get it. Like, it's the kind of like what you would do to like appease your parents, but like you need to like shut the door or whatever and you slam it. He just like throws the blankets off, like bursts through the door and just immediately like walks. It's like, fine.
Backs away.
He's just like, leave me alone.
Get you plenty of stuff down there. Well, I didn't think the painting would work, but, you know, I'm just glad I was annoying enough to get you downstairs. And you hear the stomp, 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 stomp of Luciano coming down the stairs. The swing door opens, back and forth, and he sits. Thump. In front of everybody. A few moments later, the door opens. Gherkin strides in, puts down a bell and a stick. Go ahead, Luciano, you were going to say something?
Who's sitting next to me? Who's on the sides?
I think you're sitting next to Turja, because Rafe and Sim are sitting on the other side. And Vale is sitting? So
It's Turja and who?
Vale, are you sitting on the side with Rafe and Sim or the side with Luciano and Turja?
With Luciano and Turja.
Okay. So you sit in between them? Luciano?
Sure.
If wherever the seat was that I was sitting, I don't know what the spot was open. That's what I was asking.
I would be sitting right next to Turja, so.
Yeah. So you sit in between them. Good.
I kind of glare at Turja, move my chair over towards Vale, and cross my arms and just like very like lean on Vale a little bit and close my eyes. Just not wanting to be there.
Gherkin comes, sits down, and just starts eating.
I imagine this is probably one of the most awkward breakfasts we've had so far. Sim's not talking, not joking around.
Mm-hmm.
So, Gherkin,
Yes.
now that we're all back, well, almost all back, perhaps you could tell us why you wanted this Tempest fugitive so badly?
Luciano opens his eyes to glare at her as she says that.
Also glaring.
I'm totally willing to play up the guilt in order to get information out of Gherkin.
Gherkin kind of frowns at you and says, I wasn't even going to ask about it, but since you brought it up, did you get it?
Yes, it's around my waist right now.
Great. Well, I don't know what it's being used for. That's for my boss, who pays you all handsomely to do it.
And when can we speak to your boss?
Well, that depends on if he's coming up here or if he's going to take it down there, but your instructions were to hand it to me to be delivered. But, more importantly, all of you have been through a very, very traumatizing experience. And, I know it's hard. And you will grieve, and you should. But what you should not do is to stop living. And that's going to be hard for some of you more than others. But remember the words I said. Just because someone perishes and is no longer with us is not a reason for us to stop living. Now, I know I'm not the prettiest or the smartest sometimes, but that one piece of wisdom got me through numerous times and helped our benefactor as well. And he said that to me once after I lost someone very important to me. That being said, if you wish it, you can take as much time as you need as a team. But don't take too long, or you'll never get back on the horse.
I don't think we have time, based on what we heard down there.
Please tell me more.
An hourglass, sand is flowing through it. I think we may have as few as 16 hours left. The people that we took that orb from, the undead, warlock and the knight,
Orb?
they mentioned something about trying to raise all of the dead in the city, and that would be happening post haste. Not to mention the fact that we were set up, meant to be killed there.
I'm sorry. Please explain more. I'm not following all of this. I wasn't. Orb? Undead? What's going on?
Somebody knew we were down there. And,
Somebody beat us to it. They didn't seem to be after what we were after, but they seemed to be anticipating our arrival. I take the letter I found on the warlock out of my pocket, and I push it over to Gherkin, and I say, the bit about the arm in particular seems very suggestive, giving a look at Cimmerian as I say that bit.
He flips through the letter for a minute. Just to remind someone who may not have been here when that letter was originally written, what do you remember from that letter?
Give me 1 second, I can read it.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
So the letter was found on the
Murder.
warlock after
There
you
we go.
killed him.
I've held up my end of the bargain, ensured they're en route to your location as you instructed. Kill all of them as you wish, but make sure the one's arm is mine. I saw it in action and I have to replace my own. Signed, M with a snake symbol.
Does that snake symbol seem familiar?
It does. It looks an awful lot like the symbol we've seen before, multiple times. Are you asking out of character, or are you asking as Gherkin?
I was asking out of character.
Just checking. You sounded like it.
No funny accent, sorry. He looks, Gherkin reads through the letter, raises an eyebrow, looks at the symbol, looks at you, Sam, because he knows you're the one with the arm. You think he's referring to you?
I'll look around the table. I'll lift my arm. Only one of these I see. Probably, most likely.
This symbol. It's the same folks who were trying to kill me at the docks when you guys rescued me in the first place. When I was in disguise.
And all those bodies going missing at the graveyard here, all the shenanigans there, that's related to this whole thing.
And what's this orb you were talking about, Vale?
Something the warlock and the Knight of Death mentioned they were looking for.
You mean the stone? I look at Vale in surprise. It's not an orb.
Sure, I mean, if we're showing all our cards on the table, then no obfuscation.
I look at Gherkin and I say, it's not terribly surprising that it's the same people who tried to kill you when we met, because they're after the same thing you were carrying the day we met.
What do you mean?
I mean, I know what you were carrying that day. It was a large black rock.
Well, I mean, you know what it is?
I probably know as much about, or rather as little about it as you do. But it was the same thing. I saw it.
Well, where is it now?
We have it. You're welcome, by the way.
You have it here.
Did we have a chance to take it elsewhere?
Oh. It's the same one I brought back.
No, I think it's a different one.
Oh.
But it's the same sort of thing you brought back. I don't know where the first one is. Hopefully
First
still at
one
the
is-
Temple of Agma where you left it.
I wouldn't be so
Well.
sure. She seems to know a lot of things. I say with my eyes closed. Like I'm not even.
Rafe, what do you make of all this?
Well, we did get the object that we were supposed to. We have a bunch of things that we're not supposed to, apparently.
Such as?
Did you happen to take a look inside of the bag of holding last night?
No, I make it a point to, in this business, it doesn't pay to look through other people's things without their permission.
Well, I
Usually.
appreciate that, Gurk.
That's what we do for a living, so when we do it to other people, they tend to get real touchy.
True.
I appreciate that, Gherkin, but we have a bunch of things that used to belong to the Water Clock Guild.
Liberate.
You took a bunch of other things?
Oh, yes, and we need to figure out how to get rid of them.
What kind of... He just has this pained look on his face. What kind of other things did you take?
Definitely
you-
not an elemental orb of mastery.
Do you remember how the man who was after the orb was down there?
Who? What man that was after the orb?
The one that Terja took that letter off of.
The black stone disc.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Well, he was in their vault of treasures.
Treasures. Like they have a treasure room?
Their Hall of
Mm.
Antiquities, to be precise.
They had.
Wait, you were in a hole where they put all the things of historical or religious significance to themselves?
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, your buddy
you-
Malgras was there first.
Who?
Malgras?
Margra was in there.
Yes, briefly. He left before we arrived.
So just for clarity, Margra was not in there.
Who was
I
there
thought he was in there briefly.
No, he was
Mark
seen.
was there in the, in the image.
Try
Oh, it
to
was an
imagine like
image.
when Emperor Palpatine is talking to, or Darth Vader is talking to like one of his people through like a holographic display.
Okay.
It's the spell version of that.
Okay.
So you clarify, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I understand." So Margra is in cahoots with that guy who was in cahoots with some dude who's probably in Waterdeep now who wants her arm. And it's for the same disc that we were hired to bring back to the Temple of Ogma in Waterdeep. And you found another one that they just happened to have. And those same cahoots got a tangled web.
I look at the others and do you see why I didn't think this would come up? I had no idea this would come up.
Unimpressed
Luciano.
looks.
Luciano. He slides a metal cup over with some steaming Maztecan bean juice. What do you make of all this?
I don't know what to make of any of it. I
Well-
went in with a friend and lost one on the way out. And I look around and I'm like, that is the only thing Luciano's taken. He does not care about the job. He's like, I don't understand why we're talking about anything else.
Fair enough. So, you believe, Vale, that we have maybe 16 hours left?
Well, there's two clocks the way I see it.
Mhm.
There's Magra and whatever's happening there. And I think I remember somebody saying, activate the monoliths to complete what they were doing, something about that, and how that stone could maybe stop what they were trying to do. But the other clock is the Knights of Ogma and the Knights of Kelenvor and the Water Clock Guild. They had their whole gang down there, and once they realized exactly what is missing from down there, I would imagine some tracers would be put out, and the lost items will be hunted for.
All those items are where now?
Extra
Bag of
dimensional.
holding?
So right now, they're in a safe place.
We need
Except
some lead.
for... And Rafe will actually pull his sash off and unwind it so that Gherkin can see the Tempest Fugitive. Except for this.
Hmm. All right,
think-
fair enough. And I'm assuming that they know that that crypt was cracked open and everything else, right?
They might
wait.
not have determined right away the crypt was cracked open. There was a lot of damage in the Hall of Antiquities. It might distract them for a while. But they'll probably check everything eventually, though.
Well, I mean, the circle of teleportation was damaged.
Yeah, the circle of teleportation in there too, huh?
Oh, yes. I took notes. I figured your boss would want to know a little bit more about it.
Well, that would explain how they were getting in and out sometimes. All right. May I have the item?
And Rafe's just going to hand the sash with the item in it over to him.
Oh, well, you can keep your sash, sir.
Well,
He winds it up. And not the item, but he winds up the necklace that goes around it. Places it into a bag of holding that he happens to have.
mhm.
All right. Now, I don't have my notes in front of me, but I need to make sure you're fully compensated right away. So we can get this clock off our back, if you will, before the alarms go off. We maybe have an hour. So, this villa and everything in it is pretty much going to be emptied shortly. Terry, you may want to go pack your things now. What? Yeah, Terry. Pack your things now. All right. Here's what I recommend. 1. Keep the stuff in the bag of holding, or take it to a central location and dump it where they'll find it and not have it stolen by a bunch of other people. Make sure no one sees you dump it. Or give it to a whole bunch of people that are going in different directions and let them all trace them down so that they're busy chasing those things. May I recommend the Temple of Ogma, maybe the Docksword. Maybe if you're feeling really feisty, go give it to some nasty criminals and let them go ahead and clean that up for us while we're at it.
I say, interject. I was actually thinking of the fat man. I'm sure it's occurred to somebody else in this room that he might have been the one who set those others on us.
If you want my recommendation, spread it out. Give some to some bad people, put some on some ships, drop some in different locations. The reason you should do it in the Temple of Ogma is it should panic them a wee bit. Not a lot of them, just enough of them to make them go, how the hell did this get in here?
Vale, I do actually want to put some of the books that we got in the Temple of Gond. Any objections?
No, I mean, there's enough to go around.
Okay.
Now, that being said, the rest of the plan is this. I would recommend you look up as much as you can on monoliths and see if you can find any more of these discs, because you can bet that if we have 2 of them that they know, and there's more than this around, that they're looking for the next ones that they can get to.
Why?
Fuck if I know why. All I know is they keep looking for them. That's why I'm telling you to look up the monoliths. Maybe it's the key to it. I'm not the researcher for this one. I cook, I make sure foods go, and I research other things. But I'm not going into the Temple of Ogma and looking up the same stuff. Not me.
How are we going to get in there? That place is so heavily guarded.
The
I
Temple
look
of
at him and
Ogma?
say, "You're a knight of Ogma."
I know. It's not a problem.
All right, then. Fair enough. After that, take a little bit of time to do that, and then I recommend you either get the fuck out of here on a boat, because that's going to be a lot harder to catch up to, or you find the first paddy wagon out of here, because in less than 45 minutes, we're going to be on a wagon too.
Luciano, Terja, I think you two should take a couple of these artifacts and get a disguise on and sell them. Maybe to the Fat Man, maybe to somebody else who runs a gang in town. Vale and I are going to take care of the books.
I look at Rafe and I say, "I was planning to go to the Temple of Ogma before we leave. I can drop off something there surreptitiously."
Surreptitiously.
Sure.
But here's the deal. You have 30 minutes to pack your things, and you can never come back here, at least for quite a while.
Well, okay.
All right. Best of luck. And he stands up, takes the table. You guys all stand up from the table?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so.
And turns the table over. We got to make it look like somebody broke in. Get out of here. Hurry up, pack your things. Starts knocking stuff over.
As I walk away, I just start knocking things over too. I just kind of push things.
That's the spirit, Lucy. Just take it out on the stuff in the house. It's okay. The boss already paid for all of it. Break some stuff on the way out. It's all right. Just don't break any windows. We hate to replace that shit.
If everyone's got a job, I can hang out, break some stuff, pack our stuff.
I
I was really good at it last time.
Nope.
Well,
Everybody pack this stuff to make sure nothing's forgotten. And don't, whatever you do, don't leave anything.
I look at the others and I say, "We should have a place to meet that isn't here, outside in Neverwinter. Let's say the docks. We'll need to take ship out of here anyway."
Sure, whatever.
Oh, one last question. What was your compensation?
Who cares?
Well, I'm going to make sure you get your writ on the way out.
Pick a number. And Sim walks away.
Yeah.
All right. Rafe, you're practical.
If I remember correctly, it was 500 gold per person. I believe that did not include Vale at the time. But
Considering he
Garlo,
doesn't have to
sure.
pay for Garlo, I yell as I go up the stairs to get my things.
Rafe, did Garlo have any next of kin?
yes, he did. Cimmerian would know where they are, I think.
We'll make sure that they receive his compensation. We'll put it in savings for them until you guys can get us that information. In the meantime, Vale, you've done yourself quite the job. I'm assuming you're sticking around for a bit?
Yeah, the mission's not over.
Great. Well, we're going to compensate you accordingly as well. I have permission to do that should you have brought any extras on. All right. Go ahead, get your stuff packed. All of you do a mad scramble. You pack your things. Terry's
Okay.
coming down faster. Here's some bacon. Eat it. And then he hands you each a chit. It's a written piece of paper. He goes, all right, if you hit the Tarmaloon Trade House on the way out, which is near the docks anyway, they'll make sure you receive your compensation.
Okay.
Uh,
Thank you, Gookin.
When you're up for it, please meet us back in Waterdeep at the usual location.
We will we'll get there, but probably not fast. Even though we're going to leave by ship, we should not go directly back.
As you wish. Best of luck. Terry, grab your bags this way. And you see him go out the back door, go out to the dock that's right on the water of the river. And he jumps down into a little boat, a dinghy. Come on, Terry, bags down. And you just start to see him rowing off down the river.
Sim's gonna help pack up Garlo's stuff.
Okay. All of you guys got his stuff?
Rafe
Go
is
ahead.
already packed, so he's just going to, I guess, police, grab everything that might be personally identifiable, and to get rid of it.
Rafe's the last one in the hotel room sweeping, isn't he?
Uh,
They went for any phone chargers. Nice.
so
Just as you guys are going out the front door together and Rafe is sweeping behind you. Go ahead, Lucy.
I was just gonna say, I go back to our room, pack up my stuff, grab Reggie to kind of get him to come, and I'm looking for Stampy. Find out where Stampy
Stampy-
went off.
You open the door and Stampy comes right out to you.
I'm gonna kind of lead them out, and because you tasked me with selling stuff, right? Did I get stuff to sell, or I was just gonna leave and start selling and meet everybody later?
Who gave you what is the question.
Rafe, did you said Turja and Luciano should spend
Yes. Let me take a look at what I have actually in the bag.
I'm gone. You said that. Whatever you're gonna give me, I'll take, and then I'm rolling out.
So yes, he would have probably taken several of the objects, ones that were more likely than not to be saleable.
Okay. So on the way out, just before the door closes, you see approaching from the front gate a young lady. She's walking up and she looks kind of lost a little bit, like she doesn't really know where she's going or if she's sure of herself. And she goes, "Excuse me, I'm looking for my friend. I guess he's my boyfriend now. Is Carlo here? Is this his place?"
This is to me.
To all of you,
Oh, I was gonna say who?
as you guys are coming out.
I'm sorry, I don't know who you're talking about. I hurry off.
Oh. I guess I have the wrong place.
You don't.
I'm gonna walk past her, but I'm gonna kind of look at her, like very unasked for, give her a hug, and just keep going. Just like, I'm sorry. And keep going.
Well, this is weird. One person says she doesn't know who it is. The other person hugs me, and you're telling me no, no, no.
He
Man.
ran off to join the circus.
He did what?
It was sudden.
Oh. He made a
He said a lot of
promise.
nice things about you. Not even trying to pass the lie. For the record, it's just as flat can be. But
I see. She takes a couple steps back, nods, turns around and immediately starts covering her eyes, and walks out the gate very quickly and breaks left, going back down to where she came from.
I kick some dirt and move along with the party.
The party breaks at the front gate. Who's going where?
I am taking some of the other saleable objects, and I'm going to try and offload them in the street markets.
You're going to go to the street markets?
Yep, I don't really have another choice.
Okay. Vale?
I'm with Lucy because I think he's in a stupid state of mind right now and don't want to see him get hurt.
Sim?
I'm gonna go ahead and head down to the docks to try to get us a boat.
Turja?
I'm going over to the Temple of Ogma to do some quick research before we run far, far away.
Lucy?
I'm gonna go find a place to fence wares. I'm immediately shifting into as anonymous of a look as I can, just like the most drab, not even like drab, because I don't want it to be obviously out of place, but just nondescript, nothing flashy.
Grays and browns.
Exactly.
Good choices. Right.
And I'm
right
headed
next
off
to a shiny armored Temple of Ogma Knight. Should work out.
No,
well. No?
nay, the glamored armor. I too am bland and gray and brown.
Let's go.
All right. And so, are you heading to the Fat Man's to fence this, or?
Sure, yeah. If that's the only place Lucy would know to fence, then yes, I'm going. This is the first place that would come to mind. So if it's the Fat Man, or if it's, I went to some of those stores. I don't know if any of them buy back things, because we went to like the scroll shops and the other shops before.
No.
Yeah,
You
so
start
then
to
Fat
walk
Man.
in and you start to say, "Hey, I'd like to," and they're like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Unless it's made of earth like gems, this ain't the place.
Sorry for wasting your time, and I just very dryly, and I turn around and leave.
Best of luck. Sim, as you get to the docks, the sounds of seagulls and water crashing strikes you as refreshing, but it just feels hollow. What should be a place that is full of energy and life all around you, which it is, but you just don't feel it. The creaks of ships tied to the docks go by. What type of shipping are you looking for, Sam?
Gosh, isn't that a great question? Volunteered this, not necessarily being equipped for the job.
Exactly why this is going to be entertaining.
Okay. However, I feel like sneaking around places isn't necessarily the worst thing that she's ever done. I think we're actually going to look more for like a cargo ship, something that's transporting goods.
Well, there's very few pleasure ships out there.
Fair.
This is mostly cargo ships. The question
Not
is
fish.
how big and where are you going? Okay, not fishing trawlers. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Where we're going, pick a place. Not Waterdeep, clearly.
I'll let
What
you
are-
consider some of your options here in a minute, but I want
Okay.
you to just kind of get in the zone of thinking about that. Going to Rafe, as he's gone to the public market in downtown. Rafe, as you get into the busy market area, the place is quite busy. More than a few times you've realized that you are being followed by some of the young urchins that work for the Fat Man. As you get in position, there are a number of different groups selling metalworks and other items, which fits some of the things you're carrying, which are the giant gears and so on.
Yeah, before I actually do hit the streets, I am going to use the glamour on my outfit to become not a priest of Gond. Something slightly less conspicuous, and I'll pull my hood halfway up and disguise my hair a little bit.
Make a deception check.
Sure.
Actually, make a stealth check in this case to see if your switcheroo.
23.
23. All right. Well, you look around, you don't see anybody behind you or around you that's following you anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to grab one of the obviously valuable items and stick that inside my sash, but in a way that it's obvious that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to take the rest of the objects around one per merchant, and I'm looking to offload these in a way that makes me look desperate to offload them.
Okay. You have a few of the gears and some other items. Some of the merchants kind of look at you like, what am I going to do with a giant hunk of gear? I mean, I don't have anything this big. It's just, and I make tools, that's what I do. I'm a smith.
High quality metal. Come on.
You want me to buy it for scrap?
Yeah.
I'll give you 2 silver for it.
Sure. Sounds good.
All right, fair enough. He hands over 2 silver.
And I'll do that a couple more times until I'm down to a handful of items. And then I'm going to slow down and try and get my pocket picked in the sense that the item that I
Oh, it's
stuck in
already
my-
happened.
It's gone.
You,
Fantastic.
you reach for your sash piece to see if it's still there, and it's gone.
Awesome. With that and the giant pile of books still in my bag, I'm done. I'm heading towards the docks.
Luciano and Vale. As you're walking along, a familiar face pops up. Do you recognize your old friend? Stand by. What was his name? Dapper gentleman. Rankin Daltod. Hey there. Clothing choice.
Rankin.
Very well done.
Yeah.
Yes, very well done. Where are you heading to? Need any work done?
Looking to sell some fair items.
Oh. These the kind of items that you can sell at a market? Or the kind of items you need moved quietly?
Quietly.
Very well. Would you like to take a trip to see the Fat Man?
I look to Vale and I kind of shrug. Because Vale wasn't with us, right? Vale doesn't know the Fat Man.
I did go down there, I believe. Or
I couldn't remember. I look and I just kind of like, yeah. That would be a splendid idea. Can you get us there?
Let's take this alleyway. It's only two quick turns, and then we go down the alley of nausea, if you will. And he takes you down. Like, it's very quick. And you see there's a couple watchers, in the alleys, and he just gonna and walks you right on by. No ifs, ands, or buts. You walk down an alleyway that is familiar, and suddenly, all at once, the distance and stuff seems to bend out of reality, and then boom, you're back in reality and standing down a narrow alleyway in front of some stairs. He goes up, knocks on it, the door slides out, the little view slot slides open, doesn't even say a word, shuts the view slot. You hear a bunch of bolts getting unlocked, and the door swings open, and there's the bar. That rancid, seedy looking little bar. In you go, the door closes, lock again. Come on. Oh, no, wait. He leads you down the short hallway, down the secret passage, opens up, and then into the stairs, down into the giant open area where the stage is playing what appears to be jazzy type music with a quartet of players with drums and various different bardic instruments. There appears to be quite the soiree going on at the moment. Plenty of people dancing and partying, drinking at the bar, laughter throughout. And Rankin says, hold on just a moment. I'll see if he's available for you.
Thanks.
No problem, my good man. No problem at all. Just, try to do right by me. And he walks around, goes down the long area to the normally curtained off area where the Fat Man has his VIP booth. It's not curtained off. He steps forward, gives a slight bow, speaks to whoever's behind the curtain or behind the booth that you can't see briefly, smiles greatly, says thank you by his body language, and then waves you guys over.
Batman.
Comes over. Well, look what the cat drug in. Looking very incognito right now, too. Well, have a seat, boys.
And I kind of look and grab whatever, if it's a stool or if it's a bench, I'm not sure.
No, it's a big booth seat.
Yeah, so I
Padded
just
and cushiony and soft. Rankin, get yourself a drink. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Indeed. And he takes off. He pulls the curtains closed. So Rankin tells me you have some goods you're looking to offload. Is that true?
Yeah, we have some stuff we're looking to offload.
And would this stuff happen to have been from the Waterclaw Guild crypts by chance?
I kind of look to Vale to see, like, for a sign of if I should lie.
Raises his glass and starts drinking quietly while you guys look at each other.
One should never ask the origin of illicit goods.
There you go.
Well, normally I wouldn't. Except in this particular instance, one, I gave you the information. It's only 24 hours later. And two, every Tom, Dick, and Harry has been through these areas. And I even had a Knight of Ogma visit me incognito, asking politely, if you will, about any knowledge. Not but an hour ago.
And I kind of look to Vale in confusion.
That's why we came to you, to set you up to be the hero. We'll give you the description of the people who broke in, and you can relay this to them.
Absolutely.
I do like the way you think. So, that being said, what you got?
And I like pull out the bag and just kind of pass it over.
I don't even know what half this stuff is, but the precious metals alone should fetch a fair price.
Indeed, and the knowledge, priceless.
So you're saying to me that it's not the money, it's the goodwill with the Temple of Ogma that I'd be regaining, should I return these items?
Correct, and who knows, they may even have a finder's fee. But yes, goodwill. Priceless.
Win-win.
Well, favors from a temple full of knowledge certainly has its benefits. All right. I see what you're doing. And you expect me to pay you for these items?
I mean, nothing in this world is free, am I right? You know that.
Truly. But near as I figure it, the minute that it came out of that bag, it just set off magical alarms like a fucking heat wave.
You can keep them. We can take them back.
I tell you what, I don't need any of this stuff. And I certainly don't need the heat of whatever the Waterclock Guild is going to send our way. I would much rather have them thinking we would know the difference between what's important and what's not. As I'm sure you would as well, or you wouldn't be so anxious to get rid of it. Am I right?
I kind of look at him. Who's anxious?
All right. I like your boldness. I do. And I like that you're honest. Mostly. I'll give you 50 gold total for the lot.
I kind of mull it over for a minute.
Thank you, nice man.
All right, 50 gold and a drink at the bar.
Absolutely. How'd you like to come to work here?
Another time, maybe. I think I have places to be at the moment.
All right. 50 gold and 2 drinks at the bar. Best of luck. Slides 50 gold over, sweeps the stuff in to a bag of holding, and immediately says, now, enjoy yourselves. We'll get you a drink or 2. On me. Hey, bartender, whatever these 2 want, on me, rest of the day.
Lucy,
Fair enough?
we should leave now.
Yep.
Very good.
On my way out,
Best of luck.
I do go to. I asked the bartender just to fill up my my flask.
What do you want in it?
Whatever's the quickest thing on tap. Just pour something in it. And I kind of tell him, like, I'm in a rush.
you go.
Thanks. Put it in my bag. Let's go.
Out the door you go. Perja, you get to the Library of Agma.
Mm-hmm.
You get through the front doors. Do you have anything on you?
I do not.
You have nothing on you.
Well, I was originally planning it, but after a quick consultation with Vel and Luciano, they decided to offload everything with the Fat Man, so I decided that was smarter.
Okay. So you went in to the Temple of Agma.
Yes.
The open area of the Temple of Agma is quite easygoing right now. There's not the same busyness and tension that was there before. At the same time, there is some quietness there. One of the acolytes comes forward. May I help you?
I was hoping to do some research. My friends and I are leaving soon, but I wanted to stop by first. Is that all right? I pass a couple of gold over for your trouble and for your kindness.
Donation to the Temple of this. What can I do for you? What type of information are you looking for?
Is this the same priest I was talking to the other day or a different one?
Different one.
Okay. I need to research monoliths. Have you ever been to Nightstone, the town?
As a matter of fact, ancient architecture is my specialty. And the Nightstone monolith, if my research is correct, is we don't know exactly where it's from or when it's from, but it's very likely it's of giant manufacture. There's some books in ancient architecture, and I do mean ancient, hundreds of thousands of years ancient architecture, if you will. If you're interested, I can bring you to that section.
I would be deeply grateful, and if you could stay, since you say this is your area of expertise, any light you could shed on what I'm looking at would actually be very welcome indeed.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can you, he takes you there, can you roll a history check with advantage?
Yes.
Okay.
Advantage.
Oh.
19.
Okay. And we'll figure out what that means when we come right back from Sim. Sim.
Yeah.
Eagles are a-flying. Someone is playing an accordion on the corner, and he's like, he literally sees you, gives you a wink, and starts doing, like, playing really loud because he wants to get that tip. He's got a little hat out there, and he's just working that accordion like it owes him money. And it's the happiest, jauntiest tune. Anything?
I don't dance. I maybe get a small smile and will pull out a silver piece to drop in the hat.
Oh, thank you very much, ma'am. Sure beats the coppers I normally get.
It's from a friend.
Aren't they always? Well, never a person on the docks is not my friend. What can I do for you?
Well, I don't know. I'm looking for a ship. I'm feeling Baldur's Gate. Why not?
Baldur's Gate. Oh, let me check the, let's see here. There's the Silver Minnow. It's a small ship, though. It's going that way. It's small, but it's fast. There's a large sea galleon going to Maztica in about 2 hours. And, let's see here. And a couple that are going to, looks like, oh, they're going all the way down further south than Baldur's Gate. And then there's a couple heading further up north to what appears to be 10 towns. Anyway, all of them are good. The biggest one's going to Maztica. It's a longer voyage, really far away. Those are the quick ones that are going in just a little bit. The rest of them won't be leaving for a couple more days. How quick you trying to get out of town?
Yesterday.
Yep. You want to look at Calico Jack's galleon? Or you want to look at the Silver Minnow heading to Baldur's Gate?
Let's look at the minnow. I think. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. You get to the Silver Minnow. The Silver Minnow is small but fast and falling apart. It's rickety. It looks like it's fought off a few pirates in its day, like Mintarn pirates, if you will. The sails have been repaired recently. One of the masts apparently has been rebuilt. It's a dual mast, and it has a forward directional sail. The crew looks okay, but not great. But that's what you see. You don't know a damn thing about shipping and ships and seas and stuff like that, but you do know enough to know, of all the ships you're looking at, this one does not look like it's a really nice voyage ahead of you if you're on it. And you see the captain quickly signing new people up to be part of the crew. Oh, you haven't sailed before. That's okay. We'll teach you on board. Yes. And while we're waiting on that, we're going to go back to Turja. Turja, you come up with a number of things. There are monoliths like the Nightstone, but you may be one of the maybe 5 people who realize that they're in more than one place. There is not one in Neverwinter. You don't know where the disc that was for whatever it was, which monolith that may have come off of. But there are other monoliths, and most recent news discovered by the Baldur's Gate explorers to Maztica is that there was one in an old temple to what was known as the Mongrel Men in north of what is known as New Baldur's Gate. Additionally, there is another one that may be in the jungles of Chult, and there are rumors to be a few more near a place called the Rift, and other places as far away as the Forbidden City within Karatur, the Eastern Realms, if you will.
What was the very first one? Most recent news near Baldur's Gate Explorers to Maztica?
Yeah. Baldur's Gate explorers to Maztica discovered one in ancient temples near the Mongrel Men.
Near the Mongrel Men?
Yeah, the temple where the city of the Mongrel Men is. And it's north of where New Baldur's Gate is, which is the city-state, or the fortress city that has been set up on that part of Maztica. Additionally, the discs have only been seen at the one in Maztica, which they could not get to before being driven off by the natives. And there is one other monolith that's discussed, and it's down in what is known as the Graven Hollow Library. And a disc has been seen on that one as well, and it is used by the Stone Giant librarians with it. However, no one is allowed to approach that monolith. And that's what you know.
Before I leave the library, there's one other thing I want to research.
And that is?
The M and the snake. I have a suspicion whose the signature belongs to, and I want to see if I'm right.
Okay. And we'll get right back to you in just a moment. Rafe, now that you have ditched your goods, Vale and Luciano are also, scurrying off, but what are you doing?
I will disappear back down a couple of back alleys and reappear somewhere else as a priest of Gond, and then head down towards the docks to see if I can't find anyone.
Okay. Vale and Luciano, what are you doing?
Before leaving the Fat Man's establishment, first I'm gonna get Rankin. I'm gonna try to find Rankin. Pay him
No,
his
he
due.
doesn't let you leave without him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll toss
Hey, how'd it
him,
go? How'd it go?
I'll pass him a whole gold. Just be like, hey, appreciate. I've had my
Thank you.
opinions about you, but you know, all things considered, your help was appreciated. Thank you. Could I
Consider
ask
me
one-
part of your friendship that you know from this point forward. Should you ever come to town again, I'll always be available.
If I could ask one more thing of you.
Please ask.
We're on our way somewhere, but I wanted to find a shop of sorts on the way. Would you know anywhere that sells instruments?
Oh, yes. There's Grey Castles, Auroras, they sell instruments. Is there a particular type of instrument? I mean, like how fine? I mean, you could go to the, master
Doesn't have to be fine.
stringers, what's that?
Just something on the
well-
way towards the docks here. That's
Auroras
Whatever's
is
the-
probably, well, none of them are near the docks except Auroras. It's probably the best way to go.
appreciate it. That would be great. Thank you.
Hmm.
Until next time.
Would you like me to walk you there?
I turn to Vale. I'm like, I think we could find it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck. I'll just walk you out the alley then. And he steps up, walks you right out the alley, through the nausea tunnel, and then back out to a couple more places, to a main street. He goes, just head down that way, cross the bridge, you'll be right at Aurora's. And sends you on your way. Best of luck, gents. See you
Thank
next
you.
time you're in town. And he fades back into
Kind of
the alley.
wave.
Lucy, let's take a little coach, one of those horse-drawn wagons up there, and we can talk up about going to Luskin on the way there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys get into a wagon. The driver says, where you headed? Aurora's?
Yeah. Quick as you can.
Big
Much
shopping
obliged.
trip, huh?
Yeah. And Lucy is like really straining like his normal charisma. Like he's just like really putting it on right now. It's really draining.
No worries. 8 copper to get there. Is that okay?
Silver if you can get there fast.
Absolutely, sir. Starts running down small children. Like basically that gets them out of the street. Get out of the way! I got money to make.
Can't wait to see my family up in Luskin. Man, that trip is
Oh,
going
you're
to
heading
take
up to
forever.
Luskin. You're Luskinites.
Oh, that's where they're living now. My wife moved up there a while back.
What?
By choice?
Wife. I immediately Lucy is taken by surprise. What? You and Turja?
Oh, your wife's name is Turja.
Oh, indeed, yeah. We've kept it on the down low, but
Oh, well, how long you been married?
Lucy's
we're still in the
stupefied right
newlywed
now.
phase.
How outstanding. That's such a great time. Wish I could say that about my wife.
I hear you. Hey, watch out for that kid. Hey.
Oh,
And with that, he lets you off at Aurora's. And when we come right back from this break, we'll find out what Turja finds out, how Rafe finds Sem, and what Lucy and Vale find out at the Aurora's when they get there. And I just want you to know that
Reed was insulting my mother.
in Dungeons and Dragons, apparently, your dead mother can come back to haunt you. And yeah, as we were discussing undead, and then someone brought up, well, thank you, Tech Goblin Phil, for making it extra creepy. All right, so as we returned, Rafe, after stopping by a accordion playing fella, dropping a copper or two in yourself, you figure out that he talked to your friend Sim and directs you towards where the silver minnow is.
Okay, I will move slowly that direction, keeping my eyes peeled for a blonde.
You see
elf.
her. There's a blonde elf who's looking kind of like at a ship. How, Sim, do you look at a ship when you're still trying to figure out like ship stuff?
All right, here's how I'm actually imagining it. I imagine Sam was looking very overwhelmed and just went to talk to the captain to learn about the ship in particular. And your ship looks nice. Can you tell me about it?
Sure. This is the Silver Minnow.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, I just bought it.
Oh, so you're like new to captaining and stuff.
Yes.
You're really convincing, and I believe everything you're saying right now. So it seems
We
like
hired a great navigator. That's important.
I'm gonna take your word on it. Hey, okay, so if you're just buying this, okay, and like I lean in. What are you really doing here? You can trust me. I have a very
Make a
trustworthy
persuasion
face.
check.
Sure, yeah. Let's go. Not deception, but persuasion.
Persuasion. Well, are you lying or are you telling the truth? Because right now all you did was ask a question.
Yes, yeah, I'm persuading.
Okay.
Well, I made my fortune trading goods on ships. And, well, I made enough to buy this one. And with this one, I'm going to make even more because I've cut out the middleman.
Wise. Very wise.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I took a number of courses in night school to get captain certified, according to the person who had me take the school. And I did everything that I did on this, that I'll do on this big ship as a captain, but I also learned basic sailing on a small sailboat out here on the high seas.
I find your story inspiring, and I trust you implicitly. I have five friends.
Huh?
We need to get going. Can we hop on?
As crew? Or do you want passage?
There's a moment where I think of signing Lucy up as crew and the rest of us as passage. Just like the briefest moment. Passage?
Okay. Well, we're heading to Baldur's Gate.
Perfect.
We're delivering trade goods there. I'll need to do a quick order for some additional foodstuffs for 5 people. Let's see here. Hold on a moment.
And he pulls out a little thing with sticks and beads on it.
It'll be 4 silver per person per day.
Okay. How long of a trip is it?
Oh, at least 2 10-day. Possibly 3 10-day if weather isn't good.
I am notoriously not good at money, so I start looking around hoping help is nearby.
And Rafe walks up.
And I will pull 5 gold coins out of my coin pouch, which is definitely not a bag of holding, and hand them to the man.
Make it 6.
When he's right, he's right. and I will actually pull out 10 silver coins and hand him that instead.
I see what you did there. I like your style. Are you getting on this ship?
Yes.
Are you one of our friends? Or are you just giving me money?
No. I'm gonna ride. I'm paying for all 5 of us.
Oh. Okay.
And he seems to be disappointed, Sim, because I think for the first moment he's finally realized that you're not bringing 4 other women on board.
Okay. Fine. Well, welcome aboard.
Thanks,
Bosun!
Captain Minnow.
Bosun!
You see a guy get up.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I need you to make sure that we got at least 3 10 days times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people's worth of food and additional fresh water brought on.
Yes, sir. I'll get it arranged. It'll be done within the hour.
All right, get to it.
And off he goes.
How long before the rest of your friends go? We'd like to shove off in about 2 hours if we could.
I'm sure they'll be here.
Okay.
Luciano and Vale. You
Yes.
get to Aurora's. You step in. Welcome to Aurora's. The gentleman is helping you there. What instrument are you looking for?
I'm just looking for specifically anything non woodwind. So no flutes, no lutes, no nothing of the sort. I'm looking for something probably stringed. Just literally anything I can play. Move with, obviously.
A little voice in your ear goes,
So, have you thought about a lyre?
Yeah, a lyre. The lyre sounds great.
Yes. Stringed. Sounds like lyre. It's a beautiful instrument.
Luciano just starts to smile at the thought. Yeah. Do you have any lyres lying around?
oh, yes, sir. We, of course, have more than a few. Wooden. We even have some stuff with silver and gold inlay. Oak. There's some
nothing
pine
fancy.
starter ones if you wish to learn,
I know the basics. Whatever you have.
Very well.
Mid-level. Yeah.
Mid-level. Very well,
Yeah.
very well. Yes, for about 3 gold, I have this mid-tier. It's a nice, rich chestnut with oak stem.
Oh yeah.
The strings are, of course, the finest catgut.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I'll definitely take it. How much for this? This
3
one?
gold, sir. 3 gold.
Argue with quality. And I pull out 3 gold.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And best of luck.
Thanks. Much appreciated. And I turn to Vale. So your wife. That's just kind of.
I was lying. The driver was overhearing us.
Okay. Okay. Luciano's like, oh, okay. Like kind of relieved. Like, okay.
Look, the only reason that I'm even near Tertia is that book and the person the book belongs to. He has something that I need.
I say this as we're walking out. I'm just kind of like having casual conversation. Like, so you aren't together?
Not at all. The night in the House of a Thousand Masks, or where were we at? Wherever we were.
House of a
at that
Thousand
club.
Faces?
Yeah, that was the first time that I met her. Nothing happened.
Or the Moonstone Mask is when you met her.
Yeah.
Moonstone
Mask,
Yeah, the Moonstone Mask, yeah.
And I kind of give him an elbow. I'm like, okay, yeah, nothing happened, big guy. All right.
And
Did
from there
anything
you walk
happen
out
with
the
you?
front door Do you guys take another coach?
I need to just pass through a market. I need to buy a bag of rats to bring with me.
And I kind of
Rats? Like dead rats or live rats?
Live rats.
Okay.
and I give him the most questioning look. Like, what?
So there's no bag of rats, but there are cages of rats, should you wish them. And it's 10 rats per cage, separated.
That'll work.
Each rat, it's in its own little separated sub cage within the cage. And it's 3 gold for this many rats because they're all in good shape, extra healthy and plump.
That's how I like them. Yeah, I'll do that.
Would you like a cover for that?
Yes.
Another 3 silver, please.
Fling him the money. Thank you, good sir.
Thank you, sir. And he hands you a cage that is kind of like, it's square, rectangular, if you will, but covered kind of like a bird cage is with like a burlap sack.
The rats, what are those for?
Well,
And we'll
they're
figure that out, his response to that, when we get back from Turgia. Turgia, what were you researching one more time?
So I go back to the section of the Zentarium that I researched before, and I'm looking for more information on Manchun specifically.
So there are a number of statements, mostly news reports of Manchun and the old Zentil Keep that was further north and west.
I'm looking to see if I can find any examples of his signature.
Well, that's the funny thing. There are various signatures, no 2 of which seem exactly the same. Variable enough, like somebody signing their name 3 times with those minor variations that occurs each and every time. But what is consistent is the symbol that is used. Always has a snake, a variation of it. The winged portion, however, is unique to this person.
This means the document I have in my possession, or one of the documents
Yes.
the library is in their
The
possession?
ones you've seen so far that represent whoever you've been dealing with.
While I'm at it, I look for any connection between the Zentarium and the Harpers.
Mostly distrust of anything that you've been able to find.
No history.
Occasional. Well, there's not much history on the Harpers. They don't really write a history to be found. So unless you know somebody or you get into one of the few vaults that have antiquities of the Harpers themselves, you're not going to find very much. The same with the Zentarum, except for the fact that the Zentarum now openly operates as a legitimate trade and mercenary for hire group. That being said, your research shows that the Zentil Keep was destroyed. Quite a few beholders were part of that destruction as well. There was a whole big schism hundreds of years ago, and there may be more than one Manchun that's been running around for a while now. He may have cloned himself.
Do I see any other, while I'm at it, do I see any other names that start with an M that are likely to be this guy, the person who signed this letter?
No, you don't find anything like that.
Okay.
You don't have that kind of time for research anyway.
Worth a try.
I mean, there's lots of M names, but you can't find any that have a symbol tied to them that look like a snake. Outside of some stuff for the snake people that live in a city near Triel, north of Triel.
And one last question. Can I find anything on Old Owlwell?
Yes. Owlwell. Owlwell, it takes you a moment. Please make a history check.
On dice. Not so hot. 8.
What made you look up Owlwell?
It was in one of the documents I found before.
It is a ancient location. possibly going past the Netherese, which was the empire of humanity that was pre-cataclysm of their entire civilization failing when magic failed all at once everywhere. It was a large well, not too far from what would have been the northern part of Illifarn, a human kingdom that followed. The area was infested with owlbears. So there was not just a few owlbears, but thousands of them potentially, that were raiding the various different outposts. And the well that was dug in that area was named Old Owl Well, after the number of owlbears that were in the area. Yeah, so there's an everlasting supply of water there. But it's very interestingly a watering hole that has been around for thousands of years. There was a tower that's mentioned there of a watchtower built by an ancient wizard. But nothing else.
Any
Ancient
idea where that
wizard.
is in terms of modern terms of reference?
It's located in the Lost Hills north of the Sword Mountains. It's a popular rest stop for caravan traffic, especially between Yarder and Neverwinter.
Okay. And I know I'm running late, so that's basically the last thing I look up before I rush out of the temple, and put a couple more gold in the offering bin before I leave. Maybe find that priest and say, thank you so much for your help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let's see here. I've kind of given you kind of a sword not a sword location, a little map clip that doesn't match your map exactly, and by design, you'll have to figure it out from there.
Sounds good.
So you head out. Boom. On the way out, no one stops you. Make a perception check for me real quick.
I have +6 perception now. 13.
Okay, thank you. You go out. Are you walking, or are you getting a cart?
Walking.
Okay. You begin to walk along the horse traffic and people. Vale and Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question you were about to ask, Lucy?
So I was asking, what are the rats for?
Well, they're multi-purpose. If we're going to be traveling, we could have them fight and bet on them, a little money-making proposition, but I prefer them as a snack.
And Lucy's. I'm sorry.
Nice
Luciano,
and fresh.
from your perspective, the only people who ate rats where you were from were the most poor of them all. Although you have read in your studies way back, is there are places further south in the deserts that look at rats as a delicacy. Fried, juicy, and delicious. It's the chicken of the desert.
Do you want me to get you some?
No. Do you eat rats often?
It's not my preferred meal. But, in a pinch, when traveling, travels well.
Uh-huh. This isn't like your chicken experiments, is it?
Actually, yes, a little bit. Better keep your badger away from them.
My badger would not eat rats. And I assume he 100% does, but Luciano was trying to Reggie's better than that.
Only one way to find out.
We should swing by the trade house, cash in our chits.
Absolutely.
On the way to the docks.
I'm assuming every one of you stopped by the trade house on your way to the boat, one way or another.
Yeah.
Unless you tell me you were absolutely not doing that.
Oh no, I'll go with him. I just want to know more about these rats. I cannot I keep looking at him carry around 10 rats in a cage. I'm just like,
Rob and Sim, what are you doing?
At this point, I would have found a barrel to sit on. Something to sit and wait. And actually, I have taken off my flower crown. I've saved one of the flowers, and that's where I can necessarily pin it, but like trying to put on my person to save it. Put it aside, not gonna wear it, as I'm trying to work my hair into braids to actually keep it up and like off my face.
Okay. Please, as soon as all your friends get here, I'll show you to your quarters. We're gonna let you stay in the forecastle deck, upper area. That'll keep it nice and clear for you. It'll give you a nice view forward. Just understand, please don't walk on the forecastle. We've had stories about people going, "I'm the king of the world," and then falling off the boat. It's not a very good thing to do. Please don't do that.
Sounds bad.
Yeah. And we've got an intern with us. He's apparently traveling. He's studying biology. He's heading down to Baldur's Gate to then move on to Castle, the Candlekeep. Candlekeep. Yeah. He'll also be staying in the same open room that you guys will be. I hope you don't mind, because you really don't have a choice. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Six of you can fit in that room, and I got 5 of you and then him. So that's just, that puts us at full max capacity for additional passengers.
Thanks, Captain Minnow.
Oh, I'm not Minnow. My name is Captain Walters.
Okay.
Walters.
Yeah. Got it. Captain
Raleigh Walters.
Captain Raleigh Walters. Got it. Okay.
No, just Raleigh Walters.
Okay, just Walters. Okay.
Yeah, can I have your name?
No, you cannot have my name. No.
I'm sorry?
You can't have my name, but...
Okay. Normally polite people do that. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Just let me know when all your friends are here.
Absolutely.
And he just wanders about checking the ropes and... Yep.
I think I'm also looking over the ship, and as I am not an unskilled carpenter, I'm very concerned.
You, just looking at the top decks, see that it's quite rain-worn. There are some rusty nails that apparently have been covered over with pitch, but still have pushed up from the pitch, as the pitch is now peeling from the deck. The ropes are good. The wood, not so much. The anchor chain, rusted in the salt air. But, I mean, it hasn't fallen apart in dock.
Mending
is not going to solve this.
Oh, it's not going to solve the whole problem, but it will keep, like, wood from splintering apart completely.
In parts, but the thing is mending is not meant to be a cure-all of, like, you can't just mending a ship back together, unfortunately. You can do parts, like you could mend a small portion of a sail, but if the whole thing is jacked up, you're going to be doing a lot of mending, and it's going to get worse faster than you can mend it, probably. But you do manage to make some tar and pitch stick down better. Some nails suddenly become less rusty. But it doesn't make things... It doesn't add material where material is missing. It'll help you stitch stuff together. It'll help fix minor things. But it's not going to fix a giant gaping hole, for example. Which there's not, that you've seen so far. No giant gaping holes. Turja, how are you getting back to the boat?
First I'm stopping by the trade house for my money.
Yep, you got the trade. Yep. Okay. So, but how are you getting there? Because the trade house is at the docks.
Well, I actually don't know which boat we're on, so I'm just sort of going to wander around the docks until I see some sign of my friends.
You run into the accordion guy. You talk to him for a brief moment. Have you seen... And he goes, "Oh, yeah, that's 2 people in a row. It's, they went down to the Silver Minnow." Or excuse me, they went down to the Silver Minnow. Sorry, wrong voice. Yeah. So go down there and they'll see you there.
I say thank you so much, and I flick
anytime
into his hat or whatever he's put out for money.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you kindly. And he starts playing the accordion with a jazzy little tune. Vale and Luciano, how are you getting to the docks area?
You got a hefty load. Do you want to catch a ride, or you comfortable walking with those? I'm still just
I
like
can walk
very
it.
transfixed on the rats.
Yeah, I just kind of put it over my shoulder, kind of on the back. Let's rock it.
Fair enough.
Okay, so about 10 minutes after Turja goes through, Turja, you make it to this boat. You see Sim on a barrel, and Rafe is walking the deck, like just doing whatever it is he does. You wave over.
Oh, is this one of your friends? Let her on, let her on.
I don't say yes right away.
I don't notice this. I'm relieved to be on a ship, imminently getting away from Neverwinter.
Turja, you know enough about boats to know this thing looks like a dilapidated piece of shit. And it's not giving you a warm and fuzzy. Vale and Lucy, you arrive. The accordion guy is there. He is dancing a jig. Who's going to ask?
And I'm just kind of looking around. Pardon me. I'm looking for a group of people. I don't know if they're all here yet. I've seen one of them. Wood
Was
arm.
one of them brunette with braided hair, bluish outfits, carrying crossbows?
I kind of roll my eyes. Yes.
Real shifty eyes.
Absolutely. She was asking something about her man friend and her friend that was a pointy-eared elf.
Yeah. Wherever
Yes.
she went. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, they all went to the Silver Minnow. Something about trying to get out of town on the first
Silver
boat to
Minnow. And
Baldur's Gate.
I'm just like very clueless.
Is that a restaurant?
Baldur's Gate?
Birds. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And I just continue wandering the docks, looking for a sign for Silver Minnow. Like,
Cheapskates. All right, and he starts playing a sadder accordion song. And you guys wander down to the Silver Minnow, down the docks. It is a boat that is peeling, to say the least. The sails are patched in numerous places. There is a mast that has been repaired and braced. But it is how would you describe this? It's a course. What's the word? Corvette, if you will. Just a really ugly one. Okay. You are down by the docks. You see your friends. How do you want to signal to them that you are there?
us?
Yes. Because your friends are on the boat.
I'm gonna immediately switch to my pirate persona and
Your pirate
walk up-
persona.
Yeah. My little seaworthy dog that we did previously when we were.
Oh, hello. Are you looking to join the crew? Because I'm pretty much full up, but I mean, if you're seasoned.
I've sailed too many ships. I've worked too long. Those days are behind me.
Oh.
I'm,
Well, then what are you doing here?
My associates are on board, and I kind of point in their direction.
Is this guy with you?
Ah!
Yes. Yes. Hello.
Is this other gentleman with you?
Yes. Absolutely. 100% without a
That's
doubt.
5. Perfect. Let me take you to your rooms. Please come this way. And oh, what a lovely large bird cage you have.
Why, thank you.
And I motion for my for Stampy and Reggie to climb on board. Come on,
Wait.
guys.
What? He doesn't notice. He doesn't notice at all. He's like,
All right. If you'll just come to the forecastle.
and he brings you forward.
He goes, just step right in. Step right in.
And you step in, and there are 6 beds. Above the beds are 6 hammocks.
The hammocks are not for sleeping in, although we could. It's to put your gear in. so it's above you. It's a little easier on the gear storage that way. There's also foot lockers by everything, but you can't take those with you. Please, if you put stuff in there, please take them out. Just behind, just below deck and forward to this is where all the privies are. The only other privies you can use are out on the sides of the boat. And, well, you know, hey, they are what they are. Anyway, this will be your home away from home. You'll hear the bells when chow is served, or the whistles. We typically serve breakfast, lunch, dinner, and midnight rations. They're sparse, but they're good. Our cook is decent. It's a little halfling. You know halflings, they love to cook. And, yeah. And so, now that you're all on board, in about 15 minutes, we should be shoving off. Any questions?
Thank you. I kind of tip my hat
Thank you, Captain Just Walter.
and kind of like, I kind of motion for him to like, I'm like, all right, we're gonna talk.
Okay, so just one other thing to mention. You can go anywhere you want on the ship within reason, except for the mast on the front of the forecastle. Please don't go out on there. And please don't go to the very bottom deck. That's where all the ballast is that keeps the ship level. We don't need you going down there. There's no reason to be down there. Just don't go down there. Okay?
Very well.
Oh, stay out of the captain's and the first mate's offices at the aft castle, or the stern castle. All right?
Aye.
Aye, aye.
All right. Do your best, stay out of the way of the crew. If you have questions, feel free to ask, as long as the crew isn't busy.
All right, so we'll get out of your hair and whatnot.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day. And he closes the door behind him.
Do we need to tip him?
Some yellow. What's that?
Do we need to tip him? Talking to the group.
And I just,
No, he owns the ship.
Okay, just he's like, I don't know. All right.
Who's this sixth fellow?
Sounds like a nerd.
And there's a guy who's sitting there on the boat. And he's just looking through a book right now. He's reading it.
in the same room as us.
Yeah, he's already been in
yeah.
it.
I
You
just like
mentioned that
imagine when
they,
Vale says that, we all just like turn and look at him like,
Yeah.
What book?
Tall, skinny guy. Doesn't have a cover you can read.
He mentioned that a scholar would be traveling with us on his way to Baldur's Gate to finish his studies before returning to. and he looks over at the scholar. Candlekeep, apparently.
Yeah, going to Candlekeep. It's
Oh,
first
wow,
time away
yeah.
from home. It's an adventure.
Why are you going to Candlekeep?
It's where all the top scholars go.
it's
It's
Luciano,
the library of libraries.
I kind of looked at Vale, but Luciano immediately drops his little piratey disguise for normal Luciano. Well, for his
Whoa.
previous drab Luciano.
That's neat.
And I'm gonna tell him, be careful of Adventure Kid. It's not always the great It's not always the amazing thing you think it's gonna be. Bad things happen in the world.
I want to go over and shake his hand so I can get a feel for it. Go over and get into his space
Yeah,
and introduce
pleasure to
Vale.
meet you.
Does he have like soft scholar hands, or maybe like somebody who's held a sword or a knife at some point in his life?
Well, this is what you feel. One, make a perception check.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever shaken his hand.
Just a 9.
His hands are rough. But you see dirt under the fingernails, and plenty of cuts on his hands, but not the kind that you would get from fighting. It's the kind you get from rough work.
Huh. So, when did he get into the scholarly pursuit?
Oh, well, I work in biology.
my focus is on trying to find new ways to breed hardier crops, and we're taking all the things we learned about the Neverwinter flower trade and trying to post it into vegetables that we could grow even further up north.
Sorry, that's just really boring.
Well, okay.
Yes. To most people,
Candlekeep.
to me, it's pretty exciting. I've never been on a ship before, and finding new ways to interbreed plants, make them heartier in colder environments is absolutely important to
Leaning
finding
on
new
Lucy's
places
shoulder.
Yeah.
to develop. Yes. But what do you guys all do? I read books. I'm sure that's not exciting to any of you.
I'm an irrigation specialist.
Oh, quite exciting.
I like to think so.
And you, sir, who just shook my hand. James is my name, by the way. What's yours?
Vale. I'm an archivist.
Oh,
Some
well,
might call me a librarian.
oh, outstanding. And you, miss, looking at you, Turja.
I keep accounts.
Oh, bookkeeper. I see. And you, who's sullen and hates adventure.
And I consider for a moment.
You know, we can kill him in his sleep.
Little voice says that in your ear.
Yeah. And I kind of listen to it and I ruminate on it for a moment. And I just Drake's the name, and I go back into my pirate persona.
Drake. Okay, I'm James Drake. And you, miss,
Sorry?
what do you do?
Kind of a big question. I'll get back to you on that one. We're kind of between jobs at the moment.
Oh, okay.
He's
Did
the
you all know each
philosopher.
other before you got on the ship?
You're asking a lot of questions.
Well, you seem to be familiar with each other, and you're right. I'll just go back to reading my book.
You do that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, okay.
Pat Lucy on the shoulder, and I have to
Leans
go
back,
find me.
gets it back in his. Leans back further on his bed, starts reading again to the lantern light in the room.
Yeah, pat Lucy on the back since I was using it as a leaning post, and I go find my own bed.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
I scribble a little message on a piece of paper. There's about a 25% chance he's working for the Knights of Ogma, and I kind of flash that to everyone else.
I take that and I just.
I shrug.
My face would be like, yeah, I assume.
Yeah.
I don't trust him. I'm over here.
I'm gonna follow in Sim's footsteps and kind of lean back out of bed, pull out my new lyre, and start trying to think on it. Just around.
Okay.
I take Sahir's book out of my pack and I start looking at it some more.
All right. As you do that, you hear a loud whistle outside the door. You start hearing like metal clanking sounds, and some sounds just to the side of where you're at. You hear something bouncing and coming up against the side of the boat. You hear some yelling, some other things happening, and then you feel boom as the boat begins to pull out from port. It's about mid-afternoon. As you guys begin the portage, the ship creaks loudly. And as you make your way out to sea, do any of you leave the forecastle, or you all stay there?
Well, I'll watch what's going on.
Okay. Well, there are two portholes at the front of the ship where you're at. From there, you can see the water go in, and from the sides, you can see the dock start to move past as you begin to enter into the open water. A shadow passes over you as you float underneath the floating moonstone mask above, and you make your way further out to sea. One of the toughest challenges that you could possibly have is getting used to being out at sea. I need you each to make a Constitution saving throw.
Hisha.
Oh, dirty 20.
Nice.
Can I use my inspiration?
You certainly can.
Heck, was it a reroll or was it an addition?
It's
Was
a
it?
reroll.
Reroll. Perfect. Okay.
Okay. Well, Cimarine, you absolutely start to lose it. And that's when you realize that there's a bucket next to every bed, but it ain't to use the bathroom in. You snatch up the bucket and unload. And Luciano almost but somehow rallies and does not lose his lunch. Just as you blow out everything you've got, you step outside to go dump the bucket, where Vale stands outside, watching from the distance. You can see the lights start to flip on, both magical and otherwise, in Neverwinter. As it begins to fade in the distance. And that's when you guys begin to hear the squeaking in the cage. The rest of you, by Vale's, in Vale's hammock, where he stashed the cage. You see that both Stampy and Reggie have snuggled up together a little bit. But you see that they're like not having a good time as they're like trying to navigate this thing. And they've both made a home in Luciano's bed. Just trying to figure out how this is going to work.
You'll be all right.
Vale, watching everything fade away, seeing Sim dump the bucket, is there anything you want to talk to her about? Or vice versa? Or do you guys just pass in the evening?
Are you holding up?
I've been better. How
Look,
are you so, you know.
Look, take my hand.
I think you need it.
I hold my hand out as if to suggest that you grab it. Now, touch my hand. All right. I will cast Tireless on her as well. It's a touch spell. So it doesn't exactly help with the nausea, but it will grant you great stamina, and you won't require any food or drink for 24 hours. So maybe that'll help you get through this. I'm using magic to take the edge off, thinking about other things for now.
I don't let go of your hand. What are you thinking about?
Make a perception check, Sim.
Let me scroll back up to that.
I am thinking about Terja and the things that were said. We were quite tense at the end before we came back to the surface. And I found some of her words surprising. But I'm sticking with this because look, Garlo died, and somebody tried to kill all of us. So a little bit of revenge, and a little bit because Terja in that book, they're going to lead me to something that I need.
Okay, I need to say something. Just because I think I'm hiding it pretty well. But I'm actually really irritated at Tertia. And the thing to remember about Tertia is that she's Tertia, which I realize is kind of a circular logic on that. I'm gonna be mad at her, probably for a bit, and I don't even know if she'll ever understand why. But that's for me to kind of work through.
It's perfectly all right.
You're right that we need her. She's smart, and she's can get us through stuff. And what Garlo said in his letter was right. So I hope she doesn't leave. But I don't like her right now. But I hope she doesn't leave.
Look, I can never replace Garlo, but hey, I'm here for you all.
I don't really have words for that right now. It's kind of a wave of emotion that hits. And maybe a nod of understanding, of acceptance. But also maybe just a little too soon to hear the words.
It's at this moment you also realize that Vale's hand is unusually cold.
I take it.
It's rough, like a swordsman, like a fighter.
And I'll try to grab your other hand too. And I do the thing, holding hands together and try to warm them up. Your hands are awfully chilly, my friend.
Poor circulation. Too much time in the libraries.
That's what you get for being a giant nerd. I'm gonna take my bucket.
That's what James has to look forward to.
And I'll head back to my little bed.
While they were talking, are the three of you that are still below decks and holding it together, along with James, the biology acolyte, allegedly. What are you guys talking about, if anything?
With James in the room, nothing.
Yeah, Luciano's plucking away.
Luciano, do you think I should?
Yeah.
Do you think I should try and make this room a little bit bigger on the inside?
And I kind of just raised my. You can do that on a boat?
Well, I think if I can pitch the tent properly in here, I can.
I would not say no to more space. It'd be nice to be able to create some distance. And I, again, glare.
So I need to be a little bit out of
What are you
character.
glaring at?
Turgid.
Oh, okay.
I need to be a little bit out of character here because I got to ask for permission.
Okay.
Hypothetically, if I can pitch a tent properly, I can use the spell to create the bigger on the inside tent space.
So this is one of those really rough situations because the beds are actually bolted to the floor to keep them from sliding around in stormy seas. The hammocks are not, of course. You know, it's up to you if you want to try to unbolt them from the floor. But it will very quickly become a think of all the activities we can do, kind of space moving stuff around in a tiny area. And I'm not saying you can't do the tent. What I am saying is that it'll be challenging.
Okay. I'm gonna take some time.
I would do it.
I can sleep on the ceiling if you need the room.
Assess and say we need to move those, and they look to be bolted to the deck. But if we do, we'll have a whole lot more room.
I kind of peer my head over the bed.
Are you proficient with Tinker's tools, Rafe?
No, I am not proficient with Tinker's tools.
Who is proficient with Tinker's tools?
Who is?
Darlo
Yeah.
was.
So
I have his tools.
you can use them, but you will use them with a straight D20 roll to
Yep.
unbolt the beds.
All right, I guess we'll give it a try. See if we can work this one out. Straight D20.
Okay. Yep. You pull out something that looks like a spanner.
I don't know that the 7's gonna do it.
And you try banging on it, and it doesn't work because spanners weren't made to be hammers.
I do actually know carpentry, though.
I was gonna say.
Well, the only choices you have there is to, carve the bed, cut the bed,
Disassemble the bed.
disassemble
From having
the bed.
seen use his tools before, can I try just to be like, I think you might be using that wrong, and can I try to see if I can figure it
As
out?
a bard with the Jack of all trades, Master of none, you can do that with half your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, I'll just do the tools.
Did we make it back? Can I try to assist
You guys
with-
come in and you see Luciano hunched over with some tools, like cranking on shit.
Is D20. What did you have him roll?
So it's a d20 plus half your proficiency bonus.
You round down,
Round up.
round up.
Yep.
Lucy, I touch your shoulder, and
Doesn't even matter.
we give you a D6 extra.
So you managed to
on
start
there.
like, and you managed to start getting the bolts loose.
I'm very proud of myself. I think in this moment, just like when I see it like work, I was like, oh.
However,
Okay.
after you get the second bolt off, the third bolt, you can start working it. Then you get to the fourth bolt, and your forearms are so worn out. And you're suddenly realizing why Garlo's arms were as big as they were. It was stuff like this. This is hard work.
Yeah.
Get the first bed pop. You slide it over.
I look at Lucy and Rafe and I say, "What are you doing? Don't you realize that there's a storm? These things are gonna fly everywhere."
Oh, we're gonna lash them down. But we were thinking about using the bigger on the inside method.
Don't worry, you
What?
can stay out here, Turja.
So Luciano, with the three of you guys with everyone else watching, and even the biology guy has kind of closed his book and is just kind of watching this happen, is watching you slowly unbolt 3 of the beds. That takes care of half the floor, which is more than enough space to make the large tent go up, should you wish it.
Keep in mind, this is not a large tent. This is a 2-person tent. That's the you use for the spell. And I'll say, all right, Lucy, before we get the tent up, we should definitely tie all of that down so it doesn't go sliding around and kill Terja.
I'm worried about all of us, not just me.
And I take out some rope to start trying to tie this stuff down.
Okay, so you take out rope, make a survival check.
I'll assist.
Nope, you're setting up the tent.
Okay.
You can't do it all, man.
16?
16, okay. You lash everything down.
Oh yeah, let me get rid of my rope.
Okay.
All right. I'm setting up the tent, and I
Tent's
am going to
popped
go
up.
ahead. I'm going to cast a spell at 3rd level.
Okay. What's the spell you're casting?
The Rafe's magical travel tent, apparently.
Okay. That is the one that you created from learning from the wizard in Daggerford?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So the magical travel tent spell is cast. The tent
And,
fluffs for a minute from the inside out. Like you see it puff briefly. And the biology student is kind of looking at it, kind of perturbed as to what just happened. You would rather sleep in that tiny tent than on these comfy beds?
Yep, totally tiny tent. Don't worry about it.
Not everything is what it seems.
and I think Rape would just ignore that question entirely, and take Cimarine and bring her to the tent flap and say, I think it's going to be a little less shaky inside.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
And you step in to a magnificent open area of the tent. Please describe what the inside of the magnificent traveling tent looks like.
So I cast this at a higher level than I normally do. It is now, instead of being a small but cozy foyer, it's a large area for dining.
It's a luxury yurt.
Yeah. There's a
Multi-room.
table, 6 seats. There's tons of room. Anybody who wants to can easily find space to sleep here. And then there's off to the side a separate room with a large, very comfortable bed.
There's even a stove in the middle that is lit, warming
Although-
the space.
I
In
love
this
magic.
particular instance, oddly enough, the floor doesn't look like packed earth. It looks like hardwood.
Ah.
Upgrades,
Luxury
people,
yurt.
upgrades.
Who's going in the tent besides Sim and Rafe?
Oh, I'm definitely going in.
I'll go in.
What's the password?
Vale.
Garlo.
Oh, she's good. She's good. She's good.
No.
I'll stand guard outside.
You're gonna stand guard outside?
Yeah, I don't need to sleep. I can just stand in the corner. Silent. Unmoving.
The biology student is kind of like, I was gonna go to sleep. Do you mind if I turn the lamp? And he takes one look at your pale face.
That's fine. I'll watch you two.
You know what? I think I'll leave the lantern on a little bit. He pulls the blanket up real tight.
All you hear is the silence of the rats. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Oh no.
Yeah. And everybody gets a good night's sleep except for Vale, who apparently doesn't need sleep tonight. Sim, you were feeling pretty good, but once you got in the tent, you felt really good. Whatever that spell was that Vale gave you was like, it was good. I mean, it was like better than any Maztecan bean juice you could have ever had.
You get hooked.
It's,
Be a magic junkie.
I mean, it's a rush. You've never felt more energy in your life. And in many ways, you kind of forgotten a little bit about what was bothering you. Still there, but you feel like I could do anything all night long.
I'm sure.
That wasn't meant to be that way, but I see
I
what your
know.
face did.
She's gonna play so much cards. So many cards.
Solitaire junkie. I see.
So,
There you go.
so wow. I know that's how you're saying I'm feeling, but I'm honestly just not sure what she would do with that energy. And I think it's probably more nervous pacing at this point. Of sure I have the energy, but not necessarily the will to do anything with it. And so it might be like kind of hovering over whatever Lucy's doing for a minute, and then maybe popping my head out to see how Vale's doing. And I think it'd probably be more similar to the wandering that I've done in the past, just maybe with a little bit more amped up energy.
Just to add to this a little bit, where are each of Garlo's things?
I was gonna say
Luciano has the
I
tools now. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say I didn't give those back. I'm very attached to them right now.
I would have kept the letter unless someone pried it out of my cold dead hands.
Uh-huh.
But then
Where is the halberd?
What all did he have?
he had the rod, the halberd,
Some cloak?
the cloak.
Cloak, little
And his tinker tools
yeah.
Yes, his pipe.
and his pipe. And I
Oh.
think, yeah, his black glass pipe. He had a candle. that was in a metal tube that also survived. But his lanterns got fragged.
Except for the magic one.
Even the magic ones got fragged. Those were not built for that type
Just
of
the
stuff.
candle, right?
The candle survived. But only because it was in the metal tube, probably. Because minor common magic items, they're not as indestructible as other things are.
I think things that were big, like the halberd, glaive, whatever, probably would have gone in a bag of holding.
Yeah, the glaive.
Yeah. Cloak, though, I think I would have kept, not necessarily wearing it, but on my person, in my stuff in
So
my bag.
you have the cloak.
Yeah.
So make sure you put that in your inventory if you haven't already.
I think for the most part, though, most of us just haven't had the stomach to go through our dead friend's loot.
That's why when the Tinker Tools came out, I was very much like, I kind of held on to them. I'm like, I'm not ready to give those back.
I would say that probably everything else is in shared treasure.
I
At the
am
moment.
double checking everything here. Yep. Okay. So and thank you, Shard, for making easy to move stuff around and put stuff in shared treasure for people to pick up. Let's see here. So all of those things are now in shared treasure. And
Thank you, Shard.
you will be able to use those things as you see fit. Okay. So you distribute those as you will as a team, or you keep them together in the event that somehow magically you are able to bring your friend back, which is not going to happen anytime soon, probably at best. But you have it there. All right. So you can use them or just keep them in a state of honor, whatever you wish to do. And with that, as you guys are settling in, and Vale is scaring the hell out of the biology intern, we will end for the night. We'll wake up the next morning. We'll find out what happens.
We have to stop.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, unfortunately we do. But really quick, do we have any announcements?
We do, actually.
Alrighty, what do we got?
Oh, I wanted to remind folks about Streamloots. It's live at the Game Tavern. There may be a link in chat where you can get your Games Tavern packs. And these cards can be utilized to help out the cast of the show with things like inspiration for the entire party, granting of luck to a player, and other collectible cards. There's even a card that grants the DM inspiration if you're so inclined. Mike?
Oh yeah, I can't talk enough. Today we did, if you're not aware, fun little giveaway. Dragon bag and dice. Sorry, dragon dice bag, but dragon bag and dice. Oh, did we get a winner? Amanda
Congrats.
G. Congratulations on your dragon bag and dice. Please make sure that you are available so that the tech can get you and get that to you. Remember to come by.
Real quick, also check out our Discord. Drop the Discord link in chat, if you will, Tech Goblin. If you can't reach us here on YouTube, please hit us up on the Discord. Let us know who you are. This is our first time streaming on YouTube, so we're working out some of the kinks and the details. But we really appreciate that you guys are hanging out with us. So if you, for whatever reason, our Tech Goblin's unable to get a hold of you directly, individually on YouTube, just hit us up in Discord. We will find you, and you can give us some inside information. We'll make sure that we get you your prize sent out right there to you. Okay.
Make sure you come, because if we do these again, if we do some fun giveaways, you need to be here to win.
And
tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends. All right. So before I interrupted, Lucy, what's the next announcement?
Next announcement,
if any.
Oh yeah, I guess I go twice. Let's go. Huge thank you to Shard Tabletop. You've seen us use them this episode. You might not have seen it on screen, but behind the scenes, we're all using it. Shared treasure, dice rolling, character sheets, because maybe some people leveled up. Who knows? It makes it very easy and convenient to play D&D. You don't have to think about all the stuff on your sheet. You can just play. It's so great. It makes, for people like me who are really bad at keeping track of treasure or keeping track of gold, I'm actually going in and I am being honest. I am paying out everything I'm saying. And it's very easy to track. So thank you so much, Shard, who, we want to help you. So we got a little hookup. You can use the link in chat to check it out and use code TGTShard20. Again, TGT Shard20 at checkout for 20% off of all your subscriptions. Go check them out, get 20% off, and make your Dungeons and Dragons, I was gonna say D&D, make your D&D experience like 10 times better. Do yourself a favor.
10/10, highly recommend. And is there any other ones here? Am I forgetting anything else here?
I think we got 2.
Okay, keep going, keep going.
All right. Hey, our adventure's over, but yours doesn't have to be. Be sure to check out Mythology Candles using our link to help support us and help support a small business. If you want a candle burning to help enhance your adventure at your table, I highly recommend Mythology Candles. They have a D&D limited run right now. Last I checked, they only have one kind of candle left after like 6 or 7. So be sure to get in, snag it before they're all sold out.
And Anna, you want to tell them about YouTube?
I do. And remember that if you haven't already done so, to be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Since you're on it right now, that shouldn't be hard at all. Subscribing's free, and this way you won't miss any of the action, and you'll also get access to additional content. Remember that your likes and positive comments in the videos help other adventurers find out about the shows, so go ahead and click that like and subscribe button right now.
All righty. And Rob, you want to tell us the next shows?
Sure. On Saturday, we play Star Wars. We are playing First Knights. Our Jedi have finally met with the senator who has put them off for so many days. And they have a new, well, not really a new, but an altered objective. And now they need to figure out who is going to take the fall, because they know who's behind it, but they need to figure out who's going to take the fall for all of these nasty things going on in the colonies.
All right. And I think the cast and crew are recovering from some personal illnesses that they'll be back for this. Are they going to be around this Saturday, Rob?
I think so. I got to double check with them.
All right. All right. And with that, am I missing anything else? All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching today here on YouTube. We will be back next week on the Games Tavern. Is it next week?
Next week? Yep.
Oh, yeah. July 4th is next week. So we're going to be off. We're going to be enjoying the holiday. Yes.
How can I do without playing this game?
Apologies. So after the July 4th holiday, the American Independence Day, we will be back stronger than ever, and we'll find out what happens on their boat trip. Bring your rubber duckies, everybody. We'll see you next week.